Welcome to Fashion Reverie Talks. I'm William Gooch, filling in for our co-host, Cicely Daniels.
I am Tijana Ibrahimovic.
Fashion Reverie takes you from the front lines of fashion to the front row.
All of Fashion Reverie Talk segments are based on published content found on fashionreverie.com.
So welcome to our second episode of our new season. And in this episode, we do a roundup of New York Fashion Week, which just finished 2 days ago. And I was with Tiana a lot.
Yes. So we'll go over some of the, info. We'll cover some of the New York Fashion Week scoop. And also, if you need any more information on the segments, go to fashionreverie.com.
So we start every segment with our fashion news alert. And one of the most interesting items that happened this week is that Kanye West announced that he is leaving his collaboration, his partnership with Gap. Now, this partnership started in 2020, and it did really, really well for Gap. Gap has been having some financial problems. Their, share earnings are down in the third quarter of this year. So when this collaboration came about, everybody just assumed that, this would be a great ongoing collaboration, but it hasn't turned out the way Kanye wanted. Kanye complained to his attorneys that he wanted to end the collaboration because there was some Yeezy product that Gap did not carry in the store. And Kanye was making some products specifically for Gap. So there's this kind of, tug and pull that Kanye isn't happy. Gap seems to be cool. There was no comment from Gap, but Kanye does want to end the collaboration. And he said through his attorney that Kanye is going to open up his own Yeezy stores really soon after he ends his collaboration, which everybody thinks because he's breaking his contract, they're going to have to go to court. So, Tiana, what do you think?
Oh, I am shocked. There is drama. I mean, honestly, I think it's an excuse because I'm sure he came up with an idea to have his store, Yeezy concept store or whatever it is. And then he realized, you know what? I'm going to cut everything else off and just fuel all his energy into Yeezy. So I think that's what it is. I think they will go to courts. I think, I don't know how that will end, but yeah, I think he just needs an excuse.
Well, everybody kind of said at first, Tiana, that it wasn't a great match because Gap is kind of traditional American sportswear. Kanye is kind of out there in his own world, and the two weren't going to be really compatible bedfellows. That's what the Fashion Rumor Factory was saying when the partnership was put together. So I guess the Rumor Factory was correct. What do you think?
Well, I'm ready to move on to our next alert, which
is enough of Kanye. Okay.
A little bit of more of a friendly guy, Timothée Chalamet. And so he is getting a Vogue cover. I mean, that's pretty fascinating. His career is like taken off so hard. So in the October issue, the 26-year-old Chalamet talks about fate, fashion, and being an old soul. So he's also promoting his new film, Bones and All, that opens this fall. And, it's kind of interesting because the British Vogue's editor-in-chief wasn't sure if he was ever going to put a male on the cover. But according to him, he was just waiting for the right person to go on the cover because Timothy is someone who breaks the fashion rules, if you want to say it that way. And he is a supporter of sort of avant-garde-ish looks. Like, look at just his look with the open back at the Venice Film Festival. That was a big historic sort of red carpet look. I think
which you covered for Fashion Reverie.
exactly. So, what do you think about the choice for Timothy
I
being
love him as a
cover photo?
choice. I love how he's expanding what men can wear, what we call the new masculinity. And you know, he has a new film coming out this fall, which I'm sure ties very much in with the cover on British Vogue. Because, you know, this is how celebrities kind of promote their product. They get on the cover of a magazine now, so particularly fashion magazines. So, you know, it's kind of one hand washing the other. But, you know, I love his looks. I love how he expands what men can wear, and he still looks like a guy wearing it. You know, I
Hmm.
have a, you know, I saw some new masculinity looks and this season, and didn't look too good. So, in Fashion Week, but Timothy definitely does it. I think it's time to have men on the covers of what's considered ladies' fashion magazines, which they really aren't. But and I say bravo, Edward Inningfall for pushing British Vogue to do things that other fashion magazines should be doing, and I love it. I love it.
I agree. I
A bit
agree.
of sad news. Roxanne, famous fashion photographer Roxanne Lloyd, passed away this past, I believe it was um, Tuesday. She passed away. She was 80 years old. Fashion Reverie had a very special relationship with Roxanne Lloyd. We interviewed her several times about some of her books. I have her book. I'm looking at it right now of the wonderful photography that she um, did in the fashion industry. She was known for her backstage images. In fact, she launched the whole culture around shooting fashion shows backstage in the
Oh,
late 70s, with starting with Yves Saint Laurent, of which she had a relationship with him throughout his life until his death in 2002. So we are so sad that Roxanne Lloyd left. She was a very, very, very nice lady. Me and our former managing editor, Carl Ayers, got the chance to go to her book launch, and she gave us a wonderful, wonderful interview, which we're going to repost on Fashion Reverie so you guys can read it. And she was a wonderful woman, incredible photographer who really, really elevated the whole culture of fashion backstage at New York Fashion Week, London, Paris, Milan, and she will be sorely missed. She gave so much to this industry. Roxanne, we love you, we miss you, and um, you'll never be forgotten. Well, you guys, that's it for our fashion news alert. And just remember, if you want more information on these stories, you know where to go. FashionReverie.com.
so dear viewers, next we will have our New York Fashion Week Roundup. It was an exciting week indeed. And I will be here discussing it with our editor-in-chief, William Gooch. Hello, William.
Hi, Tiana. It's so good to see you again. And it was so great to see you. We were together at quite a few shows during Fashion Week, which rarely we get to be at the same show. So it was so great to be sitting next to you in the front row at several
Yes,
shows.
always fun, and lots of great new inspirational designs.
And speaking of inspirational designs, you know, we went to a lot of shows. You know, some shows were wonderful, some not so much. But one of the shows that we were both at in the front row, enjoying the collection, was Kevan Hall, excuse me, I always pronounce it wrong, Spring 2023 show. A great show, wonderful, traditional silhouettes with a special little twist. We just loved his collection. And I have a special surprise for our viewers. Kevan Hall is here. Welcome,
Oh,
Kevan Hall.
wow.
Thank you. It's great to be with you guys. I just dropped in on you.
Yeah, you just dropped in with all those wonderful clothes from your collection behind you. I see the look.
Yes, yes, yes. We had
We
our
love
Tuesday.
surprises like this. And I have to say, you did give us a show. There was
A
a lot
real
to
show.
see.
Yes, yes. We had, I think, how many looks? It was about maybe 35 looks or so.
35 looks. Yeah,
About
yeah.
35 or so looks, just going, taking the woman from day, cocktail, night, red carpet. Yeah.
So actually, that's my first question. Could you talk about taking your consumer through every juncture of her day. Could you talk about that?
Sure. So, my lady, I built my reputation really on red carpet. But when I originally started, I really started out in sportswear and day clothes. And then the evening piece just really resonated with the client. So over the years, I always go back to those beginnings where the customer wants to have something that she wants to, wear to a meeting or wear to a luncheon or wear to, just out and about town. And it's not casual day. I call it high day. So it's a reason that she's wearing these beautiful clothes for day. She moves from that first look and then she'll go, let's say, to, a cocktail look. Maybe or maybe even a look where it takes her from the office to a dinner, something like that. So these clothes will move her from day to dinner. And then if it's really specific and it's a cocktail party, then I've got these great dresses that maybe are sexy and have a little bit of a flounce on them, or they have a great neckline, or there's something really special about them. And then there's the gala collection, or the gala pieces in the collection, which are going to take her to, a beautiful wedding, or it's going to take her to a black tie event, or it's going to take her to the red carpet, or it's going to take her, to something that's very, very special and elevated. So I'm taking her from her day, morning, business, board meeting, special appearance, wedding, then to cocktail, and then into her black tie events.
Exciting.
Yeah.
You used some light tweeds in this collection. Why that fabric of choice for the spring 2023?
Yeah, because when I saw the fabric, I just fell in love with the colors. This collection has more color than I've used in many, many years. I mean, there's magenta, there's chartreuse, there's yellow, there's emeralds. I mean, there's all these incredible, incredible colors. And within that tweed fabric, there was, magenta and chartreuse and pops of yellow. And the fabric, typically tweed can look and be heavy, but these were really lightweight. And what I did to make them really special is I cut some of them on the bias. So you got the fluidity of the bias cut done in the tweed fabric, and that made it very, very kind of light and made it kind of mold to the body as well.
And I noticed that when you started your show, you started with some very young models in those tweeds. So you could, in my opinion, you were showing a younger consumer that they can wear these clothes because it's very ease of movement, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, exactly. And that was giving it that modern twist. The edges of the tweed were fringed. The bottoms of the skirts on the tweed was also fringed. And as I mentioned, they were cut on the bias, which is going to give you a sensuous kind of silhouette, which is kind of a juxtaposition of what you think about tweed typically being.
Right. Now, you always use very traditional silhouettes. But what I love that you do is you take these traditional silhouettes and you twist it. You add a little modern construction, a little modern projection onto these traditional silhouettes. Could you talk about that a little bit for this collection?
Yeah, so I always do love like a traditional silhouette. I love great American, and as I mentioned, sportswear. So I'll take things like a trench coat. I showed that trench coat in organza and put it over a jumpsuit. I did a gown skirt, which is a silhouette that was slim through the hip area, flounced to a beautiful kind of train, but I put cargo pockets on that. I did a jumpsuit in sequins with a beautiful pleated trouser, and then I put cargo pockets on that. So I'll take these silhouettes and I give them a little bit of a twist, or take something that is typically thought of as a sportswear piece or as a day piece. I'll push it in the evening fabric, and I kind of blur those lines between day and night and kind of do a great kind of mashup.
Okay.
I mean, I have to mention the last look. The last look was a showstopper. It was the column evening dress with multicolored bangle beads, and it was just fascinating. It was what a great closing look. So, how did you come up with that look, and where do you see it making a debut?
Yeah, so that look is definitely going to be a red carpet look. I mean, that is something that
it is.
Zendaya or, Vanessa Williams or, Sharon Stone. I mean, any of these fabulous girls, Kate Blanchett, any of the fabulous, older girls, younger girls rocking that silhouette. And it's a racer halter neckline with a turtleneck, and I love a turtleneck. I'll put a turtleneck on anything. A turtleneck, and this is the lineup: a turtleneck, a cargo pocket, a trench, a jean cut pant. Those are kind of like the things that I love. A great, a great easy kind of sheath dress. But back to that dress really incorporates all the fabulous colors that are in the collection, because each bugle bead spangle was all kind of mixed. So within that, you had the turquoises, you had the yellows, and you had the oranges. You had all these great colors mixed into that one dress. And that was the statement piece that said, okay, this is spring 2023 Kevan Hall.
And well, Kevin, thank you so much for being with us, but I gotta say a couple of things to you. One thing that I said in my review, which is up, everybody go to fashionreverie.com, is that bravo, my last sentence was, bravo, Kevan Hall, keep doing what you're doing and show the young bloods how to put on a show. So I want to say you are an example to the young designers to show them this is how you put on a show. And thank you so much. And of course, thank you for including our wonderful friend to Fashion Reverie supermodel, Coco Mitchell, in your show again.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we always love to bring Coach Coco in, because she knows. I talk about how to put on a show. She knows how to show the clothes.
She really does.
That wonderful, training and that old school technique, knowing how to present a collection and present a garment. So we love.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Kevin, and good luck on this collection. Congratulations.
Thank you. Great to be with you, William. Take care.
Okay. Now, the next collection we want to talk about is EARNEST by Byron Lars. And Tijana, me and you were there in the front row. Thank God we were able to get front row seats. And it was a wonderful collection, a small collection, not as large as Kevan Hall, about 20 looks. But he was inspired by 1940s Harlem. And you kind of see those in his looks. He's mixing in silhouettes, padded shoulders with cinched in waist. And again, Coco Mitchell again, in the show, front and center, showing the young girls how to show off the clothes. But it was a wonderful, wonderful collection. And it's always with Byron Lars. He knows how to take familiar silhouettes and add a special twist. He's known for his corseted looks. And it seems like every season, he takes that signature DNA of corseted looks and he updates it. Now, with all the wonderful clothes in the collection, the only, and you were there, Tiana, the only sour part, or a part that wasn't so much, was, it was a group show. It was a pre-Fashion Week show. There were other wonderful designers that showed, but in between each look, they felt like they needed to entertain us with music and snake charmers and the bearded lady and trapeze artists. So Byron was, of course, the diamond that stood out among all the designers. But I want to tell the producers of this show, the next time you do this, kind of leave the other entertainment out of it. It did kind of bring the show down a little bit. But Byron shone like he was sparkled like the star that he is, and we just love his collection. Your
I
comments.
thought it was a beautiful collection. I agree. The performances did kind of take away from the actual fashion during the show. And of course, the recognizable Byron silhouettes are amazing. And it was great seeing Coco in that jumpsuit, which, not anyone can just pull off that jumpsuit look.
Right.
So,
but, as Kevan Hall did, there were looks for almost every juncture of your day. I love that last black taffeta lace with lace embellishments. It was a beautiful, beautiful dress. Very sheer. So, that's not for a woman who isn't in the best of shape. But it was a beautiful, beautiful look. But, like Kevin, he had a range of looks that works for a lot of different ladies of a different age demographic. And he had,
I think what Byron is good at is that he's good with making any size look good because of
right, exactly. So there are a lot of looks for a lot of different kinds of women. So, bravo by Byron. Now, the next brand that we're going to talk about is Vivienne Tam. We love Vivienne Tam at Fashion Reverie. We love her use of bold color, colorful prints, innovative ways of using denim. And I was really excited about this show, but I have to say it was a little bit of a miss this season. There were some great denim jackets. There were some other looks that were quite nice, but Vivian has pivoted this season, and maybe it was an experiment. I don't quite know what it was, where she's trying to appeal to a very, very young audience. She was inspired by cyber aesthetics and the fashion metaverse. So she used some of those cyber characters like Monkey Paw, and I can't remember all the names of them. So you saw their logos and their figures cutouts on the t-shirts and on the jackets and on some of the ladies' blouses. But Awkward Astronaut is another cyber character that she used. But I have to say it was a bit of a miss. Didn't have a lot to say. It wasn't the Vivian that we know and love. I think she's trying to expand her audience. I mean, she's trying to survive post-COVID pandemic, which a lot of designers are kind of worried, what are they going to do? What direction they're going to take their brand? But I want to tell Vivian and other designers, stay with what works. Stay with what is working. We know you need to expand, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, I think she should have separated. Maybe she could have done few looks like traditionally what Vivienne Tam usually is, and then add to it for a little bit of a younger demographics, more like K-pop friendly or whatever it is.
Exactly. I call this trying to appeal to the floater generation. The kids who get out of college and move to a major city and they're trying to find themselves. So they don't quite know what they want to do. So they just want to be comfortable. They want ease of movement.
Good. I mean,
which can be a good thing if it's done right. If it's done right. Yeah. Okay. Our last brand we're going to talk about, and I kind of got in this show by accident. It wasn't on my list. Somebody took me. And it was Boohoo by Kourtney Kardashian. Not a brand I would have gone on my own, but I have to say I really did enjoy the show. Anna Wintour was there, and sitting right next to Anne Hathaway. I mean, the New York fashionistas were out in full bloom. I've never seen so much Gucci and Givenchy and Valentino in my life at a fashion show. So these were the girls who've got the money to wear those kind of clothes. And I have to say, even though it's not a brand I would have gone on my own, I have to say the people who produced the show, it was a smart show. It was outside on the High Line in New York City. Wonderful, wonderful venue. The looks weren't that interesting. It's what we call in fashion industry lingo, we call it a stylist show. And a stylist show is that a stylist could go to any other brand or any other stores and just pick pieces and put it together and call it a collection. So it wasn't really that original, wasn't anything in there that was that groundbreaking. She had a lot of different size models, which was great in her show. She had 3 pregnant women, very pregnant women walking in her show. But I'm sure those looks are not expensive. So it's gonna appeal to a lot of women, and particularly those people who follow the Kardashians. So I have to say it was smart. Business-wise, very smart. Creative-wise, not that interesting. But, at the end of the day, your clothes gotta sell.
Yeah, and I mean, the celebrity definitely brought the boom to the show because there's so many front row, especially Anna Wintour and Anne Hathaway giving us the Devil Wears Prada moment. So
sitting side by side.
Yes.
It's fun. Yes. Well, you guys, that's it for this week. We want to thank you for coming to Fashion Reverie for Fashion Reverie Talks. And I was filling in for Cicely. I hope I did okay. And she couldn't be here today, but thank you guys for coming. and we hopefully can see you again.
See you at our next episode.